Oh, what's he gonna do? Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. 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 Come on and get down on it. Get down on it.
That's not what I wanted.
Meanwhile, Flack is running backwards on the treadmill.
Gotta work on that cardio.
Fuck's sake.
I just was like, I walk forward, I stop.
I love it. It's how it's meant to be.
I walk, I sleep, I repeat.
How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? Help me! By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. I heard all the people saying.
What the hell is this, like, game-changing ultimate when you just save everybody from dying?
How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Get down on it.
Like, just be on low HP. I'm gonna show Cat how OP this box mag is. Take some damage from the tower. Just walk under tower range and take like 2 shots and walks out. 1, 2, walk out. Look at this box mag.
Holy shit.
Get down on it. Come on and
Sleep darkness. Stand above. Did you see that?
No.
I denied her whole healing fountain.
by standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. I heard all the people saying, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Get Good, the series where I inform you about the video game character. And today's subject is Anna. So I'm gonna change up a little bit how I make this video. I'm gonna just pretty much talk about what the ability does, some tips, and then what you should be looking out for when you play the character. Just small tips and tricks how to play the character. So let's get right into the video, shall we? Okay, so let's start with her traits. Her trait is pretty much that your basic attacks does damage over time. This applies a dot that stacks up to 5 times, that has synergy with your talents or your level 1 quests. This is just an ability, or I would say basic attack, that really helps you in lane when you're just trying to poke them or harass them. It just gives you that little extra humph when you're a healer and you can actually do kind of decent damage by just sitting there and basic attacking them. So a good harassment tool and just a really good passive in general. Now let's talk about Healing Dart. Healing Dart is very straightforward. You shoot a dart in a straight line, the first ally it hits, it heals. This is a skill shot, so it actually takes, quote unquote, some skill to hit your target. If you miss this can have some devastating results late game. What I'm thinking about, there's a talent you can pick that increases your healing for every healing dart you hit. But if you miss, that bonus wears off. And this can stack up to 50%, and late game this is very useful to keep your teammates alive. So if you're good with skill shots, this is a very good ability. If you're not good with skill shots, then you're gonna have a much harder time playing this character. Next up is Biotic Grenade. It does 2 things to allies and 2 things to the enemy. Number 1 thing it does to allies is that when you hit an ally with it, it heals them. Number 2 thing is that they receive a 25% more healing from all sources within 4 seconds. What it does to enemies is that it does a little bit of damage, and then it negates all healing they receive for 2 seconds. Meaning that a lot of characters that have like lifesteal, quote-unquote lifesteal, and or shutting down a person for receiving healing, this ability is very good. It's what I would say is her most game-changing ability, just because we don't really have anything that can shut down healing in this game, until now of course. So it's a very good ability, and I'm glad that it's in the game. Next ability is Sleeping Darts. It's a very straightforward ability. You shoot a dart in a line. The first enemy it connects with gets slapped for 3 seconds. If they get damaged, they wake up from the sleep. So this is just a CC ability pretty much. You can call it a soft CC of some sort. I say soft just because there's not a 100% chance that the whole 3-second duration is the duration they are stunned. Because you don't know what your teammate's gonna do, so I say soft in quotation. Now we're finally on the heroic abilities, and the first one is Nano Boost. It instantly restores 200 mana over the next 8 seconds. They also gain 30% spell power, and the basic ability's cooldown recharge is 150% faster. This cannot be targeted on yourself. So this is my opinion, is a wombo combo ability. You pair it up with Kel'Thas or someone that has very low basic attack, basic abilities cooldown. So if you have the option to like team up with a friend and come up with a really ridiculous wombo combo, this is a really good ability for just that. I wouldn't recommend it over the other heroic, just because there's not a 100% chance that you can set up that wombo combo with a random, because this ability relies on you set up a favorable team fight and then you win the team fight because you're nano boosted, or that you got a good pick before the team fight went out because of the nano boost. So this is more set up a favorable team fight, then win the fight, and then go and take a tower or a boss or something. So this is like I said multiple times, a wombo combo ability. It needs some help to set it up, and therefore the other one, the other heroic ability, can be more useful because it doesn't require the setup that this ability does. And now moving on to the last heroic, Eye of Horus. This is, you place yourself on the ground in a sniper position. You can't move when you do this, and I recommend to unlock your camera while doing this. You have global range on your Q and R, that is the same ability, and it's you shoot 8 rounds of pretty much your healing dart. If you shoot an enemy, it does damage. A big thing about this ability is if someone stands in the way, they will get hit and not the target you're aiming at. This has a little indicator on your crosshair or your mouse. It has a little portrait of the character that is in line of sight. Keep that in mind when you're aiming on your low HP Jaina that you're trying to save, and there's like a big sitting Abathur in his cocoon in a way or something. Just keep track of what target is in the crosshair and what you're aiming at. That's a big thing. Recently also realized that it can hit structures if something in the way. Don't quote me on that, but that's just how I feel, that if there's an enemy structure in the way, in between the shots and the person, or in between the character you're aiming at, it will hit the structure and hit neither an enemy or an ally. But this is the ability I usually pick over Nano. Just there's 2 reasons behind that. One, you have global presence, so even if you recall because you're low, and then save your teammate by just shooting global darts at them, and then so they can't die because they receive so much healing. And the reason number 2 is that if you really don't have that wombo combo potential, this one is much more better, just because it's what I usually do if I don't see like on top lane and I'm on bot lane and someone needs healing, is that while I'm waiting for my Q to recharge, even though it has a 2-second cooldown, I use my Q first and then I pop my ultimate, just because you have 8 shots in a row of your Q pretty much. It's just that it's 8 shots rapidly, so you don't really have to like shoot, wait 2 seconds, shoot, wait 2 seconds, shoot. So you can like shoot, so that like every 1 second you can shoot one healing bullet at someone, and that's really good in team fights when you need to keep everyone topped off in the middle of a team fight. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you 5 tips how to play Ana, what quest to pick or what talents to pick. Not too in-depth, but not too brief either. So, number 1. The big question here is, what level 1 quest do you pick? I pick either the sleep dart one or the box mag one, because the box mag one is useful for burst healing, or as the game would like to call it, clutch healings. So you just hit up that box mag and then you just spam the heals, because it's like 3 healing darts in an instant. It's really good for saving people, and it's really good for that clutch heals in team fights. The other one is the sleeping dart one. I picked this just because you have piercing sleeping darts and piercing healing darts, meaning you can heal 2 targets at the same time. You also get longer range, meaning that you can reach a little bit farther to like get that clutch heal, save a teammate, or you get that extra reach so you can healing dart someone over the wall, so you save them from getting caught by the enemy team. The second tip is try to hit your Qs. Ana is a very skill shot heavy character, and because of that it comes with a downside. You need to predict where your ally is gonna be, because if you miss that, they're not gonna receive any healing. So like every Genji main out there, they will be probably complaining in chat saying 0 heals, or they will thank you for actually being good at the game and just hit all the Qs and have them topped off at full health at all time. So my tip to you, try to predict where your ally is gonna be, and you will be the god of the team. Tip number 3. Stay in the backline. You have a lot of range at your disposal, so staying in the backline and let your teammates have the front line is very important for Ana, because if they are like a wall in front of you, you can just heal them at all time, and their assassins and the enemy team will have a hard time getting to you because they need to go through your allies to get to you. So utilizing your range is a big deal with Ana, so just stay far back and try not to stay super far in front. You can always try to poke them, of course, but stay a little bit farther in the back and let your allies do the work, and you can just spam out those heals and hopefully everybody will be happy at the end. Tip number 4. Try to roam if you have the opportunity to. Because you're a healer, everybody needs heals more or less, so roaming when the opportunity gives to you is really good. You can be the Oprah of your team and just say, you get a heal, you get a heal, and you get a heal, and that's really good for your team in general, because if nobody dies or the enemy team has a hard time killing your allies, you're gonna get just ahead in XP and probably win the game by default. So try to look after your teammates and just keep them topped off at all time. The last tip is more towards your Eye of Horus heroic. If you have the Eye of Horus, you have global presence, so keeping an eye on your minimap is very, very useful. And also keeping an eye on your allies' health is also very, very useful. So, for example, if you're on bot lane and there's a fight happening on top lane, you really don't have the time to run up there and heal them. You just place yourself on the ground, and then you just snipe them from bot lane to top lane, and that's very useful. It has saved multiple allies of mine just by popping Eye of Horus and then saving them while they're running back to their tower or something. So try to have an eye on your minimap. It's gonna pay off at the end. You're gonna save much more allies than you're gonna have them killed, pretty much. So that's it. I hope I have taught you something about Ana today, or just give you a brief understanding of what the character does and what she benefits from. And I just wanted to make it a little bit compact comparison to the other GUD. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you next time. Bye bye.